How's it going, everybody? This is Dominic Minchella. I am the Kansas City Chiefs beat writer for On SI and the host of the Kansas City Chiefs Insider Podcast. Thank you guys so much for stopping in today. Whenever you do stop in, I always appreciate it. Today, we're going to be covering more Kansas City Chiefs training camp topics. However, today's topic kind of bleeds into the regular season because it will be a topic discussing on how valuable it is for the Kansas City Chiefs to walk out of week one against their AFC West division rivals, the Los Angeles Chargers, the same Los Angeles Chargers that have been predicted to dethrone the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC West, ending their 9 consecutive AFC division titles in Sao Paulo, Brazil. It is going to be a huge matchup and one that kind of favors the Kansas City Chiefs more than some people would be familiar with. However, that's the past. I will dive into the past and how it affects the Kansas City Chiefs and why they have been successful. But I will also give you my reasoning as to why week one, I know it's just the first game of the season, it is one of the more crucial tone-setting games that the Kansas City Chiefs have this season on their schedule. Now, you might remember me talking about the breakdown of their schedule and some of their more difficult opponents. The AFC West is a stacked division and arguably could be the most stacked division in the entire NFL. You have the Kansas City Chiefs, who have been a staple thus far since in the 2020s of making playoff appearances and Super Bowl appearances. Then you also have two improved teams in the Los Angeles Chargers and the Denver Broncos, looking to kind of catapult off of their playoff appearance last season and kind of dethrone the Kansas City Chiefs. And then you have the Las Vegas Raiders. And while they might not be their most put together team on paper, the Las Vegas Raiders, if you take them lightly, you're going to get stepped on. The Raiders, they have been having a tremendous offseason in their additions. However, I just don't think that they're quite ready to take down the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC West or the other two teams for that matter. However, though, that being said, the Chargers are right there, right behind the Kansas City Chiefs. Admittedly, they have a strong head coach in Jim Harbaugh. They have a very talented offense, and they often give the Kansas City Chiefs a run for their money. However, in years past, the Kansas City Chiefs have been able to find a way to get the upper hand, not only against the Chargers, but whoever their week one opponent is. Winning week one, ladies and gentlemen, might be one of the most important games to win. In my opinion, a lot of these games, you have to remember, it's not like how it is for baseball. They've got 162 games to work with. These guys have 18 weeks, one of which is a bye. The Kansas City Chiefs went 15-2 last season. That's incredible. However, with them having their offensive line issues, with the other franchises being hungry and wanting to get on the Kansas City Chiefs as soon as possible, it is crucial that they win week one. Not to mention that the Chiefs face off against their Super Bowl opponents from this past season, the Philadelphia Eagles, in week two at Arrowhead. You want them to go into a game coming off of a loss to a division rival? The Kansas City Chiefs, week one, is a must win, in my opinion, and I'll sign the dotted line and say that I said it. However, though, let's look back at how the Kansas City Chiefs have fared in week one competition since 2015. A decade now. And keep in mind, Patrick Mahomes hasn't been here for the entirety of this decade. He took over in 2018. But let me break it down for you. Back in 2015, week one against the Houston Texans at their location, the Chiefs walked away with a 27-20 victory. 1-0 in week one. 2016, they went up against the then San Diego Chargers. They beat them 33-27. And I remember how I said that the Kansas City Chiefs had favored against the Chargers well in week one. Just sit tight. We'll get to more. Week one, 2017, against the New England Patriots. The Kansas City Chiefs won that game 42-27, folks. Week 1, 2018. Kansas City Chiefs 2018 Week 1 matchup with Patrick Mahomes taking the reins as the full-time starter for the franchise. He beat none other than the Los Angeles Chargers. And the Chiefs won that game 38-28. They won 4 straight at this point. 2019 against the Jacksonville Jaguars, 40-26. Chiefs, 5 straight. 2020 against the Houston Texans, 34-20. Chiefs, 6 straight. 2021 against the Cleveland Browns, 33-29. Chiefs, 7 straight. 2022 at the Arizona Cardinals, 44-21. Chiefs, 8 straight. 2023 against the Detroit Lions is the time that they broke that 8 consecutive game first Week 1 winning streak. They lost by 1 point, 21-20. Last year, as we know, the Chiefs did sneak away with a victory against the Baltimore Ravens by the final score of 27-20. In the decade, in those 10 years, the Kansas City Chiefs have become accustomed to winning in Week 1. We've seen how the Chiefs have fared in that frame. Patrick Mahomes has just lost that 1 week once, and it wasn't against a division rival. In fact, there is a tremendous statistic that shows that Patrick Mahomes is one of the best AFC competitors, and he has been since he's donned the uniform and become the head of the quarterback position for the franchise. You see where I'm getting at this? Sure. The Los Angeles Chargers, they are a team to be watched, not a team to fear, but a team to be watched. The Kansas City Chiefs have to keep their eye on it, and they have to bring their A game against the Chargers, knowing that the motivation is for these teams to take down the Kansas City Chiefs. You have to make sure that you don't get a head so big that you think, oh, I can beat any team. Speaking figuratively for the Chiefs franchise, we can beat anybody. We can take down our division opponents. We can take down anything. Piece of cake. You can't go in with that mindset. You have to go in with them. You can go in with a winning mindset, which they do all the time. They strive to win as often as possible. But if they could go in and say, oh, we faced off against these guys, and if we do lose this one, we've got to face them again down the line in the season. I would beg to differ and say that Week 1 is more favorable to kind of set the tone of the season, especially for the difficulty of the schedule for the Kansas City Chiefs early on. Like I said, it's Chargers, then it's the Eagles. You face the Ravens in there fairly quickly. You got the Detroit Lions before Week 9. You end off the first half of the season against the Buffalo Bills. You want to start off the season losing 1 game? I understand that it's not a end-all be-all. Sure, they lose. It's not going to derail their season. However, they have an international audience. They have the most primetime games, and there's already people rooting for them to take a step back. The best way to not give into those claims and also stay strong within yourself going into the Philadelphia Eagles matchup the next week, it's got to be a must-win. Let me know what you think. Those are my thoughts. As always, ladies and gentlemen, you can follow me over on X at Dom Minchella. I post and repost every single day. You're not going to want to miss any coverage of the Kansas City Chiefs as we progress forward in training camp. Preseason games are right around the corner, and that means that the regular season is just in the horizon. You can also follow us at KC Chiefs on SI over on X. All coverage for free, all exclusively for you. Ladies and gentlemen, as always, I am Dominic Minchella. Be kind to one another, and I will see you tomorrow.